Part 39. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 382. Huolinger had already entered the small mountain village with the three holy emperors. What a terrifying aura, my cultivation has actually been slightly affected. Several people's expressions changed slightly. They all feel that their cultivation is being oppressed. Countless Dao Qi machines drooped down. After taking a few steps, they felt, their own cultivation had actually fallen out of the imperial realm. Only the great saint-level cultivation is left. Moreover, the further you go, the more your cultivation level seems to drop. What kind of forbidden place is this? Even the holy emperor can't hold it. Dugumaizu's face was extremely solemn. Don't be afraid, we have treasures given by the gods, and no one in the world can hurt us. Lin Zhentian gritted his teeth and spoke. They move on. Hot girl, are you looking for Xiao Li again? At this time, an old voice came from the side. When the three holy emperors heard this voice, they were all shocked and almost jumped up in fright. They hurriedly turned around and saw an old man lying on a chair under a plum tree nearby. There was a teapot and a stack of dried meat on the table. He was laid back to the extreme. But the three holy emperors were all shocked at this moment. Is this an existence that transcends the holy emperor? Lin Zhentian spoke in shock. This old man clearly gave him a terrifying sense of pressure, but at a glance, he could not see the depth of this old man at all. Just like a mortal. Watertight? This means that the other party has transcended the holy realm. How can this be? In the whole world, there should be only one person who has truly transcended the holy realm. That is the divine messenger. Even the 9 emperors in the 9 emperor mountains only have half of their feet sticking out of the holy path. However, this old man, could he actually be a figure comparable to the divine envoy? What kind of chair is this? What kind of crutch is this? Dugumaizu murmured, the chair where the old man was lying, and the crutch in the old man's hand, were like great weapons. He had a feeling that the other party only needed a finger of crutches. There will be no scum left by yourself. It's over. What kind of existence did you encounter? What kind of meat is that? And Qin Tianqi saw the plate of meat on the table. The energy emanating from the meat actually contains the imperial way. Could it be? Huolinger was also a little surprised. She knew that every plant and tree in the small village was extraordinary, but the three holy emperors actually lost their composure like this when they met the second uncle? Second uncle, what kind of state should this be? She had a complicated look on her face, and after calming herself down, she said, Second uncle, you are basking in the sun. Then, what kind of meat is that? Even she was very curious about the meat on the plate. Uncle Zhao Er smiled and said, This? Xiao Li hunted the bear meat in the mountains and made it into dried meat. I gave it to me a little. The taste is just right, but it is a bit rough. Do you want to try it? He picked up the plate and handed it to Huolinger. Huolinger looked complicated. It is indeed Senior Li. Is this the Bear Clan Emperor from the Tianluo Mountains? Dugumaizu couldn't help but speak. He felt a tremor. It's probably, this kind of qi machine, it's unmistakable. An emperor was hunted by this small mountain village for food. Lin Zhentian and Qin Tianqi also looked extremely ugly. The news of the death of the 3 emperors of the Tianluo mountain range has long spread throughout the world. But they never expected that it would be so miserable. And there is such an evil little mountain village in the world? Is this still a village? It is simply a forbidden place within a forbidden place. Moreover, listening to the words of this terrifying being in front of me, it seems that the one who killed the giant bear emperor was the one called Xiao Li. Several people looked at each other with extremely solemn eyes. Could it be that Zhang Shui is not the strongest person in the northern immortal territory? There is someone else who destroyed the Yang Forbidden Land. Several people's hearts were suddenly at a loss. No need, second uncle, I have to take the three of them to find Senior Li. Huo Linger spoke. The second uncle was a little surprised and glanced at the three of them. I heard from Xiao Li that Huo Yetu is a big business person outside and often buys calligraphy and paintings for him. Could it be that these three people are the big bosses brought by Huo Yetu? He couldn't help but smile slightly and said. You want to find Xiao Li? You have vision, but you have to be prepared to pay a big price. Although the second uncle doesn't know anything about calligraphy and painting, he knows that Xiao Li's paintings are definitely not simple and can sell for a lot of money. He was also happy for Xiao Li, he could earn more money, great. He waved his hand and said, go ahead, Xiao Li is picking tea at the east end of the village. But at this moment, Duguma Izu and the others were already panicking. Nima, pay a big price? This vocabulary is so scary to hear. Moreover, it comes from the mouth of such an unfathomable being. The key is that they vaguely felt that the person called Xiao Li had a very high status in the heart of the old man in front of them. I'm afraid it's definitely an extraordinary existence. Can we not go? At this moment, Duguma Izu couldn't help but speak. He even wants to withdraw, what a coward. Three of you finally came here, and then you just left. The second uncle was suddenly surprised. He stood up, leaning on a cane, and said. Although our village is a small place, Xiao Li is a top-notch person. Without him, the three of you will suffer a lot. He was a little anxious. It was not easy to get a few big bosses. Xiao Li may be able to make a fortune from this. At this moment, Duguma Izu and the other three people clearly felt that the existence in front of them seemed angry. The moment he stood up, they clearly felt that all kinds of qi in the world seemed to be moving with him. Moreover, the loss is not small. This is a naked threat. If you don't go, this powerful man may kill three of you. And the second uncle continued, I will take you there. We can't let Xiao Li's business go bad. After hearing this, the three of them were even more stunned. The three of them were targeted by this existence. If you want to resist, I'm afraid there's going to be a big battle. However, although the three of them had the divine decree given by Xuanhuan, this old man made them uneasy and did not dare to use it easily. Come, follow me. Uncle Zhao Er spoke. The three of them could only bite the bullet and follow Uncle Zhao Er towards the east end of the village. Not long after, the group of them finally reached the east end of the village. In front of you, there is a tea forest full of scent. In the tea forest, Li Fan was leading a group of disciples to pick tea. Master, I told you that I only want the tenderest part of the teapot. You are too old, so throw it away. Yes, Xiling did it right. As long as the tenderest part is used, the rest is undrinkable. Li Fanzheng was picking tea and giving instructions. He was very helpless. These disciples were really industrious. I don't even know how to pick tea. Moreover, there are several more, and they are not doing their job properly. Long Xuanhuan was on the side, gesticulating blindly in the air, as if he had lost his mind. Dugu Yuking was holding a pen and writing in the air, and he seemed to be very serious about it. Qing Chen was even more lazy. He actually sat cross-legged under a tea tree with an old leaf in his mouth. Lu Rang relapsed into his old habit. He was secretly stealing soil from the roots of an old tea tree and putting it in his own grass pot. Gongya and Xianning were also sitting under a tea tree to enjoy the cool air. Li Fan deeply lamented that in such a big family, there are really not many people who know how to work. On the road beside the tea garden, I saw a group of 3 holy emperors from a distance, and they were completely shocked on the spot. Because, in the tea garden, there are thousands of scenes, like a place of supreme gods. The fresh tea breath triggers the endless avenues of heaven and earth, turning into invisible mythical beasts, such as unicorns, white zebras, dragons, etc., roaming in the tea forest. The fresh scent of tea spread far away, and they could feel the extraordinary feeling even though they were far away. What kind of tea forest is this? Dugumaizu trembled. He took a deep breath of this breath and felt extremely comfortable all over his body. Is this a tea forest that can only be owned by gods? Even a single leaf can make a person attain enlightenment and become an emperor. Lin Zhentian was even more shocked. At this moment, the second uncle also said loudly, "Xiao Li, come out quickly." As his voice sounded in the tea forest, Li Fan stopped immediately and turned his head to look over. All the disciples and others also turned around. Well, the auras of these three people are so powerful. Nanfan was slightly startled. Could it be the Holy Emperor of Swordsmanship? Dugu Yuking also unexpectedly spoke. He felt the aura of Dugumaizu. This person makes me feel familiar. Is he a strong person in the Celestial Master's way? Lin Zhuzhan is staring at Lin Zhentian. Is there a dragon hidden in him? A hybrid dragon? Long Zixuan stared at Qin Tianqi non-stop. Many disciples are paying attention. Li Fan had already walked out of the tea forest and smiled at the second uncle. "Uncle, why are you here?" he asked, and at the same time looked at Dugumaizu and the others with confusion. At this moment, Dugumaizu and the other three also looked at Li Fan. When their eyes fell on Li Fan, the three of them felt a sense of excitement in their minds. At this moment, they were like mortals falling into blindness because they looked directly at the sun. I was shaking all over and could hardly control myself. This person is a terror. Dugumaizu was horrified. At this moment, without any hesitation, he took out the portrait given by the gods. The Frost Emperor has repeatedly warned that if you encounter Zhongshui or something strange, open the statue immediately. He held up the picture of the god, tremblingly. However, despite all his efforts, he found there is actually no movement in this portrait of the god. Moreover, the god originally standing in the clouds in the portrait quickly faded and completely disappeared in the blink of an eye. Only a few white clouds are left. He suddenly became even more frightened. Could it be that the person in front of him could actually suppress the gods? Even the gods were so frightened that they disappeared on their own initiative. The expressions of the three people changed drastically. How can this be? Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 383. The portrait of the god has been taken out. But, there was no movement at all. The three of them looked extremely ugly. Even the portraits of gods can be suppressed. Could it be that this person? They simply couldn't imagine what kind of existence it was before them. Is this a rhythm that scares even the gods? Do you want this? And Li Fan was a little surprised when he saw the old man suddenly taking out a piece of paper. What is this old man doing? At this time, the second uncle had already walked over and whispered. "Xiao Li, these three people are the big bosses brought by Huo Ling. I was afraid they would run away, so I brought them here specially." Big boss. When Li Fan heard this, his eyes suddenly lit up. "Miss Ling, are these three your friends?" he asked. However, Huo Ling shook his head and said, "Senior Qi, I originally thought they would be friends, so I invited them to the Northern Immortal Territory. However, after arriving in the Northern Immortal Territory, they tried to attack the Northern Immortal Territory and were disrespectful to you. Linger has no choice but to bring them here." Hearing this, Li Fan immediately understood. These three people seemed to be big bosses and probably calligraphy and painting businessmen, but they were not Huo Linger's friends. He even wanted to seize the market of Huo Linger and others. Moreover, Huo Linger also said that these three people were disrespectful to her. It seemed that the other party had works of calligraphy and painting that were better than his own. "How dare you say such big words? Does the other party come here to challenge himself in calligraphy and painting? He couldn't help but look at the piece of paper in Dugumaizu's hand. Are those the calligraphy and painting works brought by the three challengers? He suddenly felt something interesting and said, I already know the purpose of the three of you. Come on, let me see what you have in your hands. He stretched out his hand calmly. Suddenly, Dugumaizu's expression changed. At this moment, he felt that he could not help but stepped forward and handed the god's decree to the other party tremblingly. Li Fan took the calligraphy and painting and took a look. I saw that on this scroll, there was actually a picture of white clouds. Li Fan took a look and looked at the three old men with some suspicion. What kind of vision is this? This picture of white clouds is hard to see at all. The white clouds hang low, and the space above the white clouds is empty. The layout is uncoordinated, and the white clouds are also twisted. Even beginners can't draw so poorly. Do you regard this as a treasure? Li Fan couldn't bear it anymore. It's so insulting. How dare you despise yourself with this painting? Li Fan felt that his soul was hurt, completely hurt. Hearing this, the three holy emperors trembled and their faces became even more ugly. There was great fear in their hearts. What kind of existence is this, which can make the images of gods disappear automatically, and can also play with the paintings of gods wantonly? Moreover, in his words, it seemed that he had great disdain for this portrait of the god. Is this a real god? Dugumaizu's heart trembled. The Emperor Frost said that the portraits of gods contain the power of gods. This person is unimaginable. The other two were equally frightened. Li Fan, on the other hand, glanced at a few people, shook his head, and said, You guys come with me. Now that the other party is here, you can't say anything, but you have to convince the other party to leave. After all, although he, Li Fan, doesn't like fighting for fame and fortune, he uses this kind of painting to despise himself. I can't bear it. Hearing this, the three of them were even more frightened, but they did not dare not listen. Even the portraits of gods are useless. Immediately, a group of disciples also packed up the tea and went back with Li Fan. Not long after, they arrived in front of the small courtyard. Unparalleled leisure court. At this moment, the three holy emperors even took a breath of air. Because, at this moment, their cultivation completely suppressed. Mortal. Now, they can't use even a shred of spiritual energy. What is this place? Fear. Forbidden land. Jedi. The three of them were so scared that their legs were weak. Li Fan opened the door calmly and said, Please come in. The three of them followed tremblingly. The moment I walked into the small courtyard. Boom. The endless G machine suddenly fell down. At this moment, the three of them knelt down directly. Even if he is the Holy Emperor, he cannot withstand the pressure in this small courtyard. Li Fan was shocked when he saw this. What are these old men doing? You three, get up quickly, why is this happening? Li Fan spoke. Following his words, the three holy emperors instantly felt that their energy disappeared. An inexplicable force made them stand up. If you say what you say, you will do what you say. Even the holy emperor cannot disobey what you say if you say what follows. The three of them looked even more ugly. Ling, go to the study and pick up some paintings and calligraphy for the three of you to look at. Li Fan spoke calmly. Okay, master. Hearing this, Ling nodded immediately, then looked at Huo Ling and said, Sister Ling, will you go with me? Huo Ling said, okay. Walking into the study, Ling asked, Sister, what are the origins of those three guys? Huo Ling said, the ancestors of the Dugu family, the Qin family, and the Lin family betrayed the human race. She briefly explained the situation. Hearing this, Ling suddenly became angry. So that's it, I understand. She immediately took a painting from the study room. It was a dragon painted by Li Fan. Then he picked up a piece of dusty yellow paper from the corner, which was the ghost talisman that Li Fan once drew. "Let's go, Sister Ling Zi Ling spoke. Immediately, she and Huo Ling went out together. "Master, here it is." Zi Ling handed the painting and the talisman to Li Fan. Li Fan was stunned for a moment. This girl Zi Ling asked her to look for calligraphy and paintings. What was she doing looking for talismans? However, he didn't bother to care and handed it to Qin Tianqi and Lin Zhentian. "You two can take a look at it as you like." At the same time, he picked up the poem he had written in the morning on the stone table to teach Xian Ning to read, and handed it to Duguma Izu. "Well, it just so happens that there is a handwritten calligraphy on the table. You can take a look." Duguma Izu, Qin Tianqi, and Lin Zhentian were all shocked when they took over the calligraphy and painting at this moment. Duguma Izu got a piece of Li Fan's calligraphy and instantly felt as if a supreme sword intent swept over him instantly. It rains heavily during the Qingming festival, and pedestrians on the road feel like they are dying. I asked where the restaurant is, and the shepherd boy points to Xinghua village. In an instant, Duguma Izu's expression changed drastically. At this moment, an imperial sword on his body suddenly roared. He came this time and brought the imperial sword of the ancestor of the Dugu family. Qingming sword. At this moment, the Qingming sword qi is full of energy. For a moment, the secret power of time and space came, and the long river of cause and effect seemed to emerge. Duguma Izu suddenly felt that the long river of time was pulling on him. Next to everyone, Dugu Yuking also looked shocked as if she felt something. Lin Zhentian, the holy emperor of the Lin family, got the talisman. He was trembling all over because, this talisman. It is the supreme and perfect holy talisman of creation. There seems to be secret power flowing in the talisman. He also instantly felt that he had stepped into the river of time and space. Next to him, Lin Zhentian was shocked. What Qin Tianqi got was a picture of a flying dragon. The flying dragon is in the sky. It was a terrifying golden dragon, flying in the clouds, seemingly looking around the world, invincible in its territory. At this moment, he clearly felt that he seemed to be glanced at by the dragon. His mind was agitated and he was affected by the power of cause and effect. At the same time, Long Zixuan's expression also changed. He also felt the pull from time and space. In a blink of an eye, the three holy emperors and Li Fan's three disciples were all swept away by the river of time and space. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 384. The moment Duguma Izu and three others got the paintings, calligraphy, and talismans. The three of them, as well as Long Zixuan, Dugu Yuking, and Lin Zhentian, were all pulled into the long river of time by some strange power. In an instant, the scene in front of them changed drastically. It's like going back to ancient times. A bloody battle raged, with millions of swords wielding power. The sky trembled, the earth cracked, and time and space boiled. Fight till the earth falls apart. Above the sky, there seems to be an extremely terrifying unparalleled strong man, who is taking action against three strong human beings. In the sky, the terrifying fluctuations mixed with yin and yang qi made the void tremble, all spirits prostrate themselves, and the oceans surged. Below, three strong human beings tried their best to compete. The first man holds a sword in his hand, and his sword power is overwhelming. The second man holds a talisman pen in his hand, using blood as a guide, and the power of the talisman can cover the sky and the sun. The third middle-aged man controls the dragon across the sky, the dragon's power boils, and he fights against the sky. These are three quasi-emperors. But above the sky, an indifferent voice came. I originally wanted to refine this underworld into a yin and yang furnace. Are you three worthy enough to stop me? There is no future in the underworld. Although the three of you are yin spirits, your talents are still good. Kneel down and acknowledge me as your master. Let me drive you. When I refine it into a treasure, I will grant you three great blessings. However, the three powerful human beings are full of unwillingness. I am alone and invincible. I am invincible throughout my life. I would rather die than be humiliated. I, Lin Tianzheng, will never surrender even if I burn all my blood. I, Qin Zheng, was born in response to the dragon. The dragon never knelt down. The three powerful human beings all attacked unyieldingly. Even if it's just the underworld, even if everything is illusion, the three of us must protect the future of this side of time. How can we allow you to get involved? The three of them shouted in unison, their fighting power surged. They have tried their best. Suddenly, from the sky, the mysterious existence fell with one hand. In an instant, the sword light dissipated, the talisman collapsed, and the dragon's shadow disappeared. Even though they are the most powerful geniuses in the human race, compared with the unknown existences in the sky, there is still a gap in the realm. Unable to resist, all three of them vomited blood. They were defeated. You three, are you convinced? The unknown existence was aloof and asked questions indifferently. However, the three of them just raised their eyes and laughed miserably. The three of us are not strong enough, so we will die without any complaints. Of course, the reappearance of every underworld is the reincarnation and cycle of cause and effect. In this world, there must be existences that you can't afford to offend. I don't regret waiting for death, but it will never be as you wish. This hell is definitely not a place for you to run amok. They spoke decisively, and at this moment, they were already determined to die. At this moment, no one can resist this existence in the sky. They place their hopes on the future. Hearing this, the mysterious existence in Tianyu just sneered disdainfully and said, "Being refined by me is the final fate of this underworld. I cherish my talents, and I will use great means to show you three how withered and broken the future you so-called guarded is. Only by giving up can you give up your illusions and follow me." That mysterious existence suddenly raised his hand. He took out every drop of blood from Tugabubi, Lin Tianzheng, and Qin Zheng. Then, that mysterious existence opened up a long river of cause and effect. He threw 3 drops of blood into the long river of cause and effect. I will go into the lower reaches of the years, and for the 3 of you, I will find the strongest person in the lower reaches of the years. The mysterious existence speaks indifferently. In this mere underworld, even if it stretches 30 million years, who can resist the power of my finger? I am still sitting cross-legged in the sky, invincible in the world. 3 drops of blood splashed into the long river of time. At this moment, the unknown existence is pushing and looking for cause and effect. This is an extremely terrifying technique. 3 drops of blood will evolve in countless future generations. He created many causes and effects to send these 3 drops of blood to the strongest person in this world for 30 million years. 30 million years in the underworld, I don't believe it, no one can really resist you. The underworld must have its future. And Dugabubi and the other 3 were staring at the river of time at this moment. Boom. The next moment, suddenly, in the long river of time, there are huge waves. It seems as if there is a terrifying secret power opening up a supreme avenue, as if there are thousands of waves sweeping over. The long river boils and cause and effect explodes. The next moment, 6 figures appeared on the sky. The 3 old men are all holy emperors. There are 3 more young people. The eyes of the mysterious existence instantly fell on the 3 old men. Huh? 3 drops of blood, actually returned. The mysterious existence in the sky seems to be very surprised at this moment. These three old men were the three drops of blood that entered the river of time under his driving force and evolved in later generations. That is at this moment. Duguma Izu, Lin Zhentian, and Qin Tianqi also saw the three powerful human beings in this space. Ancestor, the undefeated emperor. Duguma Izu looked at the young man holding the sword with a shocked expression. The ancestral emperor fights with the ancient dragon. Qin Tianqi looked at the quasi-emperor driving the flying dragon in disbelief. What's going on, crossing the long river of cause and effect, and meeting Emperor Tianzheng? Lin Zhentian's expression also changed drastically. At this moment, the three powerful human beings who belong to this world all have ecstasy in their eyes. Ha ha ha, you push back the long river of time and cause and effect, and bring you an unparalleled opportunity for the three of me. Dugububi looked up to the sky and smiled. There was blood in his mouth. At this moment, he suddenly took a step forward and shouted. My blood has seen the most powerful people downstream in the years, but they haven't returned yet. Dugububi shouted loudly. In an instant, Duguma Izu's mind exploded. As soon as he thought about it, he suddenly exploded and turned into a drop of blood. Dugububi opened his mouth and sucked in, and the drop of blood was immediately devoured by him. It rains heavily during the Qingming festival, and pedestrians on the road are dying. May I ask where the restaurant is? And the shepherd boy points to Xinghua village. Is this the opportunity given to me by the peerless powerful man from the lower reaches of the years? Dugububi muttered, and in an instant, his sword energy spread across 1,000,000 miles. Prove the Dao, the holy emperor of Sword Dao. At the same time, Qin Zheng, who was riding a flying dragon next to him, and Lin Tianzheng, who was holding a talisman pen in his hand, both shouted. I saw the two holy emperors Qin Tianqi and Lin Zhentian, and at this moment they turned into a drop of blood and returned to them. I can see the painting of the real dragon, and can have a 9-day escape. Qin Zheng shouted loudly, and the dragon roared to the sky. The peerless talisman of good fortune. As time goes by, there is the truly invincible way of the heavenly master. Lin Tianzheng looked up to the sky and shouted. Under his feet, millions of perfect talismans were appearing. A generation of Dragon Emperor, a generation of Fu Emperor. In an instant, the three of them took the final step in this space and time to become the Holy Emperor. In this broken underworld, in the downstream of the years, there are actually three terrible yin spirits, who have given these three drops of blood, different avenues. In the sky, the Supreme Existence is whispering in a low voice. It's interesting, I originally only wanted to refine this side of the underworld into a treasure. Now it seems that there is a powerful yin spirit downstream in the years. If I can get it, maybe, I will take the last step and get closer to the divine way. The next moment, endless big hands pressed down on Dugububi and the other three. 3 ants, even if they grow up, they are still insects after all. That mysterious existence is still extremely disdainful. With his palm, yin and yang merge, and nature repeats itself, still containing the supreme avenue. It rains heavily during the Qingming festival, this sword can cut off souls. Dugubadian shouted angrily, his sword intent rushed towards the night. The heavenly talisman rules the world, and the creation is unparalleled. Lin Tianzheng used blood as a talisman to draw a perfect talisman. Human and dragon become one, dragon blood is boundless, listen to the dragon's roar. Qin Zheng turned into a real dragon in human form and soared into the sky. Boom! In an instant, this space and time exploded. Everything in the underworld seemed to be completely destroyed with this blow. Countless continents exploded and reappeared, countless oceans boiled and evaporated, and turned into pouring rain again. Time and space were almost shaken. Because this blow was so violent, the entire world almost fell into a state of silence. Lose your voice. Just the picture. The big hand in the sky disappeared instantly due to the combined force of the three holy emperors. Thousands of white clouds in the sky are shattering one after another at this moment. In an instant, everything in the sky disappeared, only a slightly unwilling voice intermittent. Very good, destroy a projection of mine, this side of the underworld, the most powerful yin spirit in the lower reaches of the years, I will wait for you, I am determined to win. In the sky, everything disappeared. In this world, there is only silence. Under Tianyu, Dugububi raised his sword, looked at Tianyu, and murmured. 3,000,000 years have passed and a strong man has stood in the lower reaches. With just a few opportunities, the three of us can defeat you together, are you worthy of being called invincible? The most powerful people in the lower reaches of the years, are the ones who are truly invincible for 30 million years. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 385. The sky is silent. In this space and time, it seems that all the waves have disappeared. The earth shattered by this war is being reorganized, and the void ocean is reappearing. Under the sky, Dugu Yuking, Long Xuanhuan, and Lin Zhuzhen all looked shocked. Dugu family, Dugu Bubi. Dugu Yuking murmured and looked at the ancestor of the Dugu family, with a trace of confusion on his face. Because Dugu Bubi actually looks almost exactly like him. Ancestor Emperor. Why do you look so similar to me? Lin Zhuzhen was also confused. Fighting with a dragon, traveling around the world, he is like a picture in my dream. Long Xuanhuan looked at Qin Zheng with a look of disbelief on his face. At this moment, the three holy emperors looked at the three of them with equally shocked expressions. How is this going? Dugububi fell into some thoughts when he saw Dugu Yuking. I seem to be his shadow. Lin Tianzheng looked at Lin Zhuzhen in shock. Qin Zheng stared at Long Xuanhuan in disbelief and said, I was born because of you. The three holy emperors didn't know what they were thinking of at this moment. Every underworld is just a reflection of the Yang world, and the reappearance of the underworld is the intertwining of cause and effect and reincarnation, and you are the cause and effect itself. Dugububi looked at Dugu Yuking with a shocked expression. This underworld was born because of you, the most powerful people in the downstream of the years are looking for you, so, let the underworld reappear. Lin Tianzheng also murmured, saying, the meaning of our existence is just to let that existence find you. Qin Zheng looked at Long Xuanhuan, his eyes seemed to be filled with endless emotion, and said, while you were meditating, you once dreamed of riding a flying dragon to fight, so here I am. You think, therefore I am. The cause and effect of this world revolves around you. At this moment, the three holy emperors seemed to have completely understood. Each side of the underworld is a reflection of the death of the overworld, the past and reincarnation of the underworld. The rebirth of this underworld was the work of a strong man standing downstream, and the three young men appearing in the river of cause and effect at this moment should be that invincible strong man. Looking for cause and effect itself. Hearing this, Long Xuanhuan and the other three fell into deeper confusion. At this moment, they seemed to feel the big hand of fate and the traces of reincarnation, but they could not solve it or capture it. No matter what, that senior is very kind to me in this underworld. The underworld was born because of his old man. Dugububi stepped forward and suddenly bowed to Dugu Yuking. Qin Zheng and Lin Tianzheng also saluted Long Xuanhuan and Lin Zhuzhen. The three of us will fight to the underworld. If one day we can truly meet each other in the downstream of the years, I would like to thank that senior for his great kindness. The three of them spoke, and after they finished speaking, they suddenly turned around and left. In an instant, they were heading into a dark ocean. On the other side of the ocean, there are many islands, and the strange grey fog is mixed with a forbidden atmosphere, as if the other world is hidden. The three holy emperors have left. The long river of cause and effect leads to instant recovery. In an instant, the secret power of time was flowing. Duguyuking and the three of them saw a sudden change in front of their eyes, and the long river of time was flowing rapidly. The next moment, they were shocked. When they opened their eyes, they were still in the small courtyard. The three of them couldn't help but look at each other, their faces were full of shock. It is true. Everything is true. They traveled through the ages and met the three holy emperors from endless years ago. What did you see? At this time, Lu Rang asked curiously. But have you glimpsed the truth of history? Was there also a catastrophe in that life? Zhang Li is also eager to know. Lu Rang and Zhang Li have both experienced this feeling before and have seen many truths in the course of time. Nanfan, Xiling, Qing Chen, etc. are also full of curiosity. Indeed, we saw an unprecedented battle. Duguyuking transmitted the message, pointed at the three Dugumaiza who were already in the small courtyard, and said, "They are a drop of blood of the three ancestors of the Dugu family, the Qin family, and the Lin family, reappearing in the long river of time. There is a mysterious and powerful person, push them to find the most powerful person in the world in this long river of time." He briefly transmitted the message and spoke. In an instant, a group of disciples all had extremely shocked expressions on their faces. A great war that took place eons ago. The three ancestors of the Lin family, the Dugu family, and the Qin family fought against an unknown mysterious existence. And the unknown existence took the initiative, took a drop of blood from the three ancestors, and splashed it into the long river of time, looking for the strongest person in 30 million years. Result: I met the master. At this moment, a group of disciples looked at Li Fan with extremely complicated expressions. The most powerful person in 30 million years, master, is too powerful. Nanfan's mind was shaken, and she felt infinite admiration. Ah, the most powerful man who has lived for 30 million years is our master, and he makes delicious food for us every day, so happy, so happy. Ziling's eyes sparkled, and she felt like she was about to burst with joy. Master can transcend to the other side long ago, but in this world of mortals, he is blocking calamity for the entire underworld. What a great wish and bodhisattva-like heart this is. Master is a real great Buddha. Qing Chen was so excited that he couldn't help but clasped his hands and said, "My teacher is compassionate." It turns out that Master has been invincible in the world for a long time. He has been standing for 30 million years. Subakian murmured. Master is so powerful, damn dog, have you known this for a long time? Is Master a holy emperor? Wu Dade was also shocked and turned to ask the big black dog. However, the big black dog's eyes were full of speechlessness. The dog grinned and said through the voice, "I don't want to talk to unimaginative creatures." Wu Dade. 30 million years in the two realms of immortality and demon are nothing to Big Brother. Is he, a master from the underworld? Xian Ning's big eyes were also flashing. She felt that her understanding of her elder brother had been refreshed again. I see, therefore, the reason why the Dugu family, the Qin family, and the Lin family betrayed the human race is because of the cause and effect that traveled through the years. The three of them were originally manipulated by the existence in the world. Huo Linger also murmured. For the first time, she felt that the power of cause and effect was so powerful. Countless years ago, a mysterious being took a drop of blood from the body of the ancestor emperor of the three human races and splashed it into the long river of cause and effect, looking for the strongest person in the underworld for 30 million years. Endless years later, the three quasi-emperors of the human race became lackeys of the palace of true God and arrived at Senior Li's small courtyard. Everything is caused by some unknown cause and effect. One-to-one correspondence. Before the general trend of history, the choices and decisions of the Qin family, Lin family, and Dugu family were actually already destined. They became pawns of a mysterious existence that existed eons ago without knowing it, but they thought it was their own choice. She suddenly felt a deep sadness. In front of that kind of terrifying powerhouse who can interfere with cause and effect and influence a region of time and space with a snap of a finger, all living beings are too insignificant and powerless. I don't know why I live, I don't know who I die because of. Is this fate? Thinking of this, she looked at Li Fan with more determination. The world is full of suffering, but Senior Li is the real savior. Li Fan, on the other hand, was leisurely picking up a cup of tea and drinking it gently. Seeing Duguma Izu and the other three people falling into deep thought and sluggishness because of observing his calligraphy and painting, he felt a little proud. Thinking that before, these three old men actually looked down upon him with an inferior painting, he simply felt, avenging his past shame. This feeling is quite comfortable. Ahem, don't float. Li Fan put down his teacup, looked at Tuguma Izu and the other three, gently tapped the table, and said, "Do you think you can gain anything from seeing my calligraphy and painting?" In an instant, Tuguma Izu and the three of them woke up instantly as if they had returned to their souls. They looked at Li Fan, but their eyes were filled with great awe and admiration. The three of them immediately knelt down on the spot. A great gift. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 386. The three holy emperors, Duguma Izu, Lin Zhentian, and Qin Tianqi, knelt down to salute directly at this moment. When they looked at Li Fan, their eyes were completely replaced by awe. Traveling through the years, they saw the truth of history. At this moment, they completely understood everything. We ourselves are just the continuation of cause and effect from endless years ago. Duguma Izu murmured, his eyes bitter. The mysterious existence from the earth, with the power of cause and effect, dominates our choices and brings us here. Qin Tianqi was extremely sad. This is the most powerful man who has been invincible for 30 million years in the underworld. It was he who made the ancestor. Lin Zhentian looked excited. Thank you, Senior, for giving me such a blessing. The three of them spoke in unison and knelt down on the spot. Li Fan was a little surprised when he saw this. Is this serious? Didn't I just see a few paintings? He suddenly felt that these three old men were really miserable. I guess I have never seen a decent piece of art in my life. You three, please rise. No need to be polite. Li Fan spoke. The three people stood up immediately, with infinite reverence still in their eyes. Senior, we were wrong, we were completely wrong, please forgive me. Duguma Izu lowered his head, his face full of regret. Disrespectful to you, we deserve to die. Lin Tianzheng also spoke sincerely. All the glory of their family comes from the senior in front of them. How dare they be disrespectful? Li Fan smiled and said, "Don't worry about it, it's just a small matter." He paused and said, "I just hope that you can become friends with Miss Ling Er. After all, win-win is the right way." Hearing this, the three holy emperors were even more ashamed and wanted to die. They saluted on the spot and said, "Senior, please rest assured. From now on, we will definitely obey Miss Ling Er's orders. If we dare to be disrespectful in the slightest, we will be driven to pieces." They swore poisonous oaths. Li Fan nodded and said, "That's good." After saying that, he looked at Huo Ling Er again and said with a smile, "Recent developments should be okay. Their business should be getting bigger and bigger." Huo Ling Er said, "Senior Qi, we have basically captured the northern immortal territory." When Li Fan heard this, he was suddenly surprised. Huo Ling Er and others are so powerful? He actually captured the entire market in Bizian territory. No wonder it has attracted so many competitors and such a big business. Who can't be jealous? That's great, come on. Li Fan couldn't help but praise him, and there was even a hint of envy in his heart. I really envy these young people who already have their own industries at such a young age. It's not easy for young people to start a business. Thinking about a salty fish like me who likes to live a rural life in the village all day long, he will never make much money in this life. After hearing this, Huo Linger was even more happy. Senior Li praised us so much, we finally did nothing wrong. Senior Li also asked us to work hard, it means that we have not yet met his expectations. She is extremely smart and interprets a lot of things from Li Fan's words. Come on. Senior Li maybe wants the entire immortal realm. Thinking about it, she felt her blood boiling. That's right, Senior. She also took this opportunity to report directly. The three of them are just the vanguard of several other immortal realms. The real enemies are still behind. There are too many of them and they are too strong. I'm afraid we can't defeat them. After all, it was a coalition composed of all the imperial clans, royal clans, etc. in the world. When Li Fan heard this, he suddenly became angry. People in this fairyland do not follow rules when doing business. It turns out this is a serial scheme. I sent 3 old men here first. They couldn't compete with each other in terms of art, so they were going to play dirty? Is there any royal law in this fairyland? Moreover, this kind of thing doesn't happen once or twice. To do business, you have to rely on fighting. He immediately glanced at the many disciples and said, "You guys, are you willing to help? Anyway, my disciples seem to have a lot of fighting experience." Hearing this, a group of disciples were instantly overjoyed. "Master, disciple is willing to go." Xuanhuan spoke, his face even filled with anticipation. "You can't fight without me." Duguyuking also spoke. "We've decided on this fight." "Master, I want to go too." For a time, almost all the disciples spoke up, and the registration was very enthusiastic. They have made great breakthroughs recently, and most of them are already in the realm of saints, and they urgently need to be tempered by fighting. Even Zinning raised her little hands, her big eyes looking forward to it. Li Fan was speechless on the spot. Too positive. Even the female disciples are so violent. He couldn't help but feel a cold sweat in his heart. Fortunately, they all respect their teachers. Otherwise, if a student hits a teacher, he wouldn't be able to resist it. "Okay, let's go." Li Fan also spoke immediately and reminded. "Copy the guy." Hearing this, a group of disciples happily went to get things to fight with. Qing Chen carried the broom, Xuanhuan carried the fishing rod, Subakian picked up a small hoe, and Lu Rang quickly picked up the grass. "Master, can I use this?" Gongya asked weakly, and she picked up a teacup. She originally wanted to use the teapot, but the power contained in the teapot was too terrifying and she felt she couldn't control it yet. It would be bad if you accidentally destroy the entire fairyland. So, it's better to use a teacup to be safer. Li Fan almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. How could he fight with a teacup? Put it on someone's head? Unprofessional, so unprofessional. However, most of these girls just stood around and watched. He didn't want to say anything anymore, waved his hand and said, "Whatever you want." Hearing this, Gongya's chest trembled with joy and said, "Thank you so much, master." As she spoke, she happily picked up a teacup. There will definitely be a lot of prey this time. Wu Dade took off the chain of the big black dog. He was drooling while undoing the chain. He didn't know what he was thinking. Many disciples are ready. Lu Rang was also carrying the little Taurus, Nanfan was holding the little wolf Qian, Oagui was holding Zhang Li's thigh, and Lin Zhuzhen was carrying the little Kailan. Even the pets are brought. This goes together for a vacation. "Master, let's go." They said goodbye to Li Fan, and Li Fan waved. The group of them left immediately. Hey, what a bunch of stupid disciples. Li Fan picked up the teacup, drank helplessly, reached out and touched Xiao Bai lying on his lap, and said, "You are still the best. Meow meow, meow meow meow." Xiao Bai licked his hand obediently. Not long after, the group of people had arrived at the entrance of the village. "Master, where are you going?" When Uncle Zhao saw this, he spoke curiously. Wu Dade said, "Second uncle, let's go hunting. There are a lot of prey this time. Just wait, we will give you delicious food later." The second uncle laughed when he heard this and said, "Okay, prepare more. Then I'll go and inform the villagers that we won't be cooking dinner today. We're waiting for a feast." As he spoke, he picked up a piece of bear meat, put it in his mouth and chewed it slowly. Seeing this, Duguma Izu and the other 3 holy emperors all had complicated expressions on the spot. You must know that those who are watching eagerly outside the northern immortal territory are the imperial clan, royal clan, and other coalition forces in the world. No less than 300 tribes. However, in the eyes of the people in this village, he actually went hunting? Are you all ready for dinner? But think about it, behind that person, there is an invincible being who has endured 30 million years in the underworld. He should be so brave. After leaving the village, they headed directly towards the central region of the northern immortal region. And at this moment, at the junction of the central immortal territory and the northern immortal territory, countless armies are spread across the sky. Blocking out the sky and the sun, it's like thousands of miles of dark clouds. Countless imperial spaceships appeared. Qi Emperor, the 21 imperial clans, the 72 Yati clans, and the 202 royal clans, have all arrived. On a giant ship ahead, Du Tunchen, the holy lord of the sky-swallowing bird clan, reported with eager eyes. "My clan is willing to be the pioneer." Hearing this, Xuanhuan looked indifferent and said, "Wait a moment." She took one step and disappeared from where she was. Not long after, she appeared on a huge empty ship. This giant ship is guarded by the other 8 emperors of the 9 Emperor Mountains. No one dares to peek in the cabin. The divine messenger is among them. She stepped into the cabin step by step, only to see a blue-robed Taoist offering incense to a clay statue in the cabin. The divine envoy, the portrait of the divine being, should have been brought to that bitch Zhang Shui by the Dugu family. "Is there any response?" she asked respectfully. "As long as they see something strange, that picture of the god will open their divine eyes and send back the picture to let the people here know what it is. Moreover, with the presence of gods in the middle, you can avoid being contaminated with ominousness and weirdness." It's weird, but even the divine envoy is a little afraid. She couldn't help but think. The blue-robed Taoist finally finished offering incense and said calmly, "Let me take a look." After saying that, he picked up a small mirror in front of the statue of the god. The portraits of the gods and this small mirror have been infused with the incense of the gods, so they can be called sacred objects because they are stained with the spirit of the gods. He can see everything seen by the eyes of the gods from the mirror. He casts his magic. However, there was no fluctuation at all on the mirror. Nothing appears. Could it be said that the eyes of the gods didn't see anything? He couldn't help being surprised. No reaction means that the god has not opened his eyes. In other words, there is no weirdness worthy of making the gods open their eyes. It's so strange. It seems that Zhang Shui has nothing to do with weirdness. He murmured and immediately said, "Let's attack." Since there is no weirdness, it means that the woman is nothing more than that. Sweeping the entire northern immortal territory, I can naturally force the great yin spirit out. His eyes are burning. Hearing this, Xuanhuan was overjoyed and immediately walked out of the cabin. "March! Destroy the northern immortal territory." Her voice rang out immediately. In an instant, the dense army under the sky suddenly moved. March towards the northern immortal territory. At this moment, on the warship of the sky-swallowing bird clan, a middle-aged man picked up a large pile of paintings. This person is clearly Xuanhuan. His face was full of impassionedness, and he looked like he was risking everything. He picked up the painting, distributed it to everyone, and gritted his teeth and said, come on, everyone, I have drawn the topographic map of the northern immortal territory. I will give one to each clan. Don't miss it. Everyone, feel free to rush, I am here, be safe. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 387. And at this moment, Northern Immortal Territory and Southern Territory. G family. Haha, G Xuanhuan, I think it's better for you to stop resisting and surrender as soon as possible. The Holy Master of the Dugu family, Dugu Tuajiang, brought a group of strong men from the Dugu family. He spoke coldly, condescendingly. This time, if the gods take action, even Zhang Shui will die. The head of the Qin family also said coldly. Dedicate all the treasures of the Ji family, and maybe leave some blood. The head of the Lin family is proud. The holy emperors of their 3 clans have already gone to find Zhang Shui. According to their speculation, it won't be long before the ancestors bring back Zhang Shui's head. At that time, all 3 of their clans will become the families chosen by the gods and truly receive the blessings of the gods. Transcend the holy path and enter the other world. Everyone in the Ji family looked ugly at this moment. Ji Xuanhuan's eyes were extremely gloomy. He is waiting. Wait for Huo Ling'er to return. Senior Li will never be weaker than the divine decree. He spoke in a low voice and clenched his fists. The ancestor emperor is back. At this moment, a sage from the Qin family shouted. Suddenly, everyone turned around. I saw a group of people approaching from the sky. The leader is a group of young men and women. They have different descriptions and look very strange. Some were carrying brooms, some were carrying fishing rods, some were carrying gukins, and some were carrying pots of grass. And the 3 great ancestors actually followed suit, following behind them, looking extremely cautious and respectful. This scene surprised everyone. Ancestor, you are finally back. How about that? Have you captured the head of the Lord of Desolate Sky? Dugu Tuajiang and other holy masters all hurried forward and spoke with eager eyes. However, upon hearing these words, Dugu Maizu and others suddenly had panic on their faces. Shut up. Dugu Maizu slapped Dugu Tuajiang away. No. Dugu Tuajiang vomited blood and hit the ground heavily. He raised his eyes with an incredible look in his eyes. Ancestor, I am not guilty. He was trembling. The holy lords of the other 2 clans also hurriedly knelt down at this moment. Ancestor, what happened? They all asked questions. Dugu Maizu, at this moment, glanced at everyone in the Dugu family and said. The Dugu family is one of the 7 lines of the human race. We should fight to the death for the human race. From today onwards, I will be loyal to the Lord of Desolate Heaven. Anyone who dares to disobey will die. He spoke slowly. The same goes for the Lin family. The Lord of Desolate Heaven is the God our family has been serving all our lives. Lin Zhentian stopped drinking. Whoever dares to disobey the Lord of the Wild Sky or disrespect his old man shall die. Qin Tianqi also said quietly. The 3 holy emperors speak. In an instant, everyone present was shocked. Especially the people from the 3 major families, including the Dugu family, were in an uproar on the spot. What happened? Aren't the 3 ancestor emperors here to kill Zhang Shui? Why did they switch sides instead? When they mentioned the words Lord of Desolate Heaven, they were clearly in awe. Could it be that the Lord of Desolate Heaven actually made the 3 holy emperors have to respect him? More than that, to achieve this step means, can the Lord of Desolate Sky be comparable to the gods? For a moment, the three tribes were dumbfounded. Why did the three holy emperors undergo such big changes? That's how it should be. Our clan is a human race, and our ancestors are saints. Yes, we are human beings, how can we kill each other? Willing to fight for the Lord of Desolate Heaven. At the same time, there are many upright people among the three tribes who stepped forward at this moment and shouted in response. After all, it is the human imperial bloodline. Even though there are soft bones, there are also many hard bones. Everyone in the Ji family is also extremely surprised at this moment. That's right, Senior Li can make Xuanhuan the ancestral emperor become emperor by giving him some blessings. How could such an invincible being not be able to overwhelm the three of them? Ji Taixuan was even more excited and said loudly, "Fight for the Lord of the Wild Sky." In an instant, the four major families in the field all shouted in unison. The three holy emperors turned around at this moment and looked at Nanfan and others. The three of us have committed an unforgivable crime, we should have committed suicide here to thank the human race, but we are unwilling to do so. Duguma Izu looked sad and said, "Please give us a chance, let us contribute to the human race, let us fight and die for the human race." The faces of the three people were full of despair and sadness, and in their hearts, they all had a death wish. However, he was unwilling to do so. He became a puppet of cause and effect, a pawn of a mysterious existence from eternity ago, and became the opposite of the human race. The moment they saw Li Fan, the Lord of Desolate Heaven, the moment they traveled through time and space and saw the scene eons ago, the three of them suddenly woke up. However, a big mistake has been made. They know that sin is unforgivable. Just want to fight to death. Nanfan thought for a moment, looked at Huo Linger and Ji Taixuan, and said, "What do you two think?" Huo Linger nodded and said, "With the help of the three of them, the battle will be much easier." Ji Taixuan hesitated for a moment and then said, "They made a big mistake and will never be forgiven. But as a human race, if we want to do our part, my Ji family will not stop them. After the war, if they don't die, our Ji family will be liquidated again." Hearing this, Nanfan nodded and said, "I hope you three will behave well in this battle." Duguma Izu, Qin Tianqi, and Lin Zhentian all burst into tears after hearing this. "Please rest assured, the three of us will fight to the death for the Lord of the Wild Sky and the human race. They are as strong as iron." At this moment, Huo Linger stepped forward and said, "Desolate Sky Alliance, everyone, under the orders of the Lord of Desolate Sky, fight against the Imperial Alliance army." The order has been given. In an instant, countless warships took off. They set off together. Under the sky of the northern immortal domain, above the earth. Millions of miles of territory are filled with sounds of war. Soon. Northern immortal territory and southern territory. Ever since I heard the news that the Imperial Alliance army was about to kill, all the creatures within these millions of miles of territory have fled. Now, this place has become a vast and empty battlefield. When they arrived at the sky above this land, Nanfan and others finally saw the overwhelming and dense Imperial army warships in front of them. Like a black tide. In comparison, even though the northern immortal territory has the strength of the three major families, it still looks extremely weak. The two sides are confronting each other. The battle flag covers the sky and the sun, the warship is filled with the tide, and the chilling atmosphere condenses between heaven and earth. Where is Zhang Shui? Let her get out. A group of humble human ants dare to use their hands as a chariot. They are looking for death. The human race is supposed to be a blood eater. After so many years, it's time for you to find your own position. All the major imperial clans spoke one after another. The 21 imperial clans, the 72 Yati clans, the 202 royal clans. Among them, there are 7 quasi-emperors, more than 40 great sages, and hundreds of holy kings. This time, all the major imperial clans have revealed their secrets. Moreover, there are also the 9 emperors of Judi Mountain who lead them. It can be called an invincible lineup. The human race is nothing more than a coalition of 4 races. The number of the 3 holy emperors, the great sage, the holy king, etc., are all very small. Human camp. Huolinger came out first. She shouted suddenly and said, "Kill!" In an instant, everyone in the human race moved. Although there are fewer people, at this moment, they are taking the initiative to charge. Let's do it and kill these ants. Among the Imperial Coalition forces, on a giant ship, Xuanhuan also spoke coldly. Destroy all the ants. Kill. In an instant, the 300 clans of the Imperial Clans Alliance rushed away in an instant. The war has begun. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 388. The 2 sides fought instantly. A group of ants, destroy them. The Dugu family, Saint Emperor Dugu Maizu, was so arrogant at this moment, bursting out with terrifying power. He slashed with his sword, and in an instant, a large royal family was directly wiped out. I'm waiting here, don't even think about taking a step forward. Tens of thousands of talismans erupted from Lin Genshin's body, swamping hundreds of thousands of Imperial Clan Coalition forces. These Imperial Clan Coalition forces were instantly turned into ashes, including many saint-level figures. The roar of the dragon, invincible in the world. Qin Tianji rode the flying dragon, and the dragon roared for 9 days. In an instant, the expressions of several holy kings changed, but they were killed with a snap of their fingers. This is the terrifying power of the Holy Emperor. If there are no people of the same level to check and balance, then one emperor can kill everyone in the world. 3 human ants, do you really think you can be invincible? A great sage from the sky-swallowing bird clan suddenly shouted, holding a piece of the true feather of the sky-swallowing bird ancestor emperor. In an instant, a terrifying sky-swallowing bird appeared. The last body left by the ancestor of the sky-swallowing bird clan has now reappeared. We are all from the Imperial clan, how dare you be so arrogant? A quasi-emperor of the Peacock clan sneered and activated the Imperial weapon Peacock Feathers. In an instant, the ancestor emperor of the Peacock clan reappeared. Compared to emperor-level power? Are you humans worthy? Among the sky-swallowing Python clan, a snake spear measuring 8 feet in length instantly erupted into thick black mist, transforming into a man in black with an extraordinary bearing. The ancestor of the sky-swallowing Python clan. At this moment, almost all the imperial clans used their most powerful foundations. The power left behind by the ancestor. In an instant, one terrifying figure after another appeared in Fangtianyu. The sky-swallowing centipede clan. The Great Golden Crow. Emperor Yaksha. The Holy Emperor, in any era, is a rare existence. He can be said to shock the past and the present, and is invincible in a period of history. But now, a total of 21 statues have appeared. 21 holy emperors, this is the accumulation of various races in the immortal realm over countless years. In this life, has the end of the underworld come. In the long river of time, a shadow wakes up and exterminates the human race again, haha, interesting. When I come back, I will be invincible in the world. 21 holy emperors took action at the same time. In an instant, the expressions of Dugu Maizu, Qin Tianji, and Lin Zhentian all changed drastically. Please Emperor Ziyu. Ji Taixuan held the Xuanhuan sword and looked up to the sky and shouted. A shadow emerged from the Xuanhuan sword in an instant. It was a white-robed holy emperor, free and easy, with an invincible attitude. The last shadow left in the underworld comes to participate in this final battle. Ji Xuanhuan glanced at the field. When he saw Lu Rang, he nodded slightly and said, "In this life, is that senior finally going to take action?" There was a look of expectation on his face. After saying this, he slashed at the 21 holy emperors with one sword. "No fear. Never take a step back. Ji Xuanhuan, you are so brave. I have never seen you in the past, but today I will destroy your shadow to let you know that you are not invincible." The 21 holy emperors killed him and left. The sky trembled and space collapsed. Ji Xuanhuan's invincible sword was blocked. In an instant, Xuanhuan in white was almost surrounded. Even though Emperor Xuanhuan was so stunning and talented, he was still in danger at this moment. Because those who can become the Holy Emperor are all the strongest in the long history of time, and they have all been invincible figures for a period of time. At this moment, above the sky, a terrifying battle flag suddenly cut through the sky and directly entered this space. It was a broken war flag, making a hunting sound, but carrying a godless power. It was stained with all kinds of blood, including emperor blood, and even different blood that exuded the atmosphere of the earth. As soon as the battle flag arrived, the several holy emperors who besieged Ji Xuanhuan were instantly forced away. "It's that woman. Zhang Shui. Her battle flag, she actually survived into this life." Many of the 21 holy emperors changed their colors. In the ancient times, Zhang Shui was called the Blood Emperor by the foreign races because she rose from the sea of blood from the Corpse Mountain and killed the entire immortal realm, leaving all the ancient emperors of the same generation in silence. The big flag comes first. Then, a woman in white clothes entered this world. She took slight steps on the waves and floated over, dressed in snow clothes, like a fairy above the 9 heavens. "It's Zhang Shui." As she entered the arena, there was a strong evil aura on the ground paper, and countless bones swept in. Those were the thousands of troops who once fought with the Snow Emperor. Even though he has long since died and turned into bones, he still has the will to fight and come to join the battle. Under the sky, Zhang Shui looked indifferent, stretched out her hand, and the bloody battle flag fell into her hands. "I once dreamed of killing all the alien races, but unfortunately I fell short. Today is just the right time." Zhang Shui spoke indifferently. "Don't even think about it, you're looking for death. In this life, both of you human emperors will die." Those holy emperors shouted loudly. Zhang Shui held the battle flag and stepped into the battlefield. "Ha ha ha, today I will stand side by side with the Snow Emperor and defeat the Holy Emperor of the ancient clan." "How happy!" Ji Xuanhuan smiled, and his sword was like a rainbow. The two of them killed the 21 holy emperors. "Although we can't compare with the ancestor emperor of the human race, we are still willing to die in battle." Duguma Iza shouted. He and the other two holy emperors entered the battle group. The battle at the Saint Emperor level has begun. They went directly from the southern region of the fairyland to kill in the endless Void Sea. The entire Void Sea area is almost boiling and fissioning, and the eternal river of cause and effect is almost affected. Among the Imperial Clan Alliance forces, on a giant ship, the 9 emperors of the 9 Emperor Mountains never moved. The moment Zhang Shui appeared, Zhang Hanchuang's eyes were filled with unparalleled hatred. Her eyes traveled through endless space, always looking at Zhang Shui's battle group. The 9 emperors did not move, because they were waiting to hunt Zhang Shui and Ji Xuanhuan. At this moment, apart from the emperor-level battle, the two armies were completely intertwined. The human army was almost overwhelmed by the Imperial Alliance. "Let's do it, everyone, I can't wait any longer." Wu Dade's eyes lit up, and he charged directly towards the Imperial army. "Eat my butt!" he shouted and sat down directly towards an old saint. "Shuzi." The old saint tried his best to resist, but the next moment, he was directly turned into a blood mist. The surrounding foreigners were all shocked and immediately besieged Wu Dade. War. Dugu Yuking was holding the Huangtian brush, and in an instant, he was already in front of the Imperial clan's coalition forces. The moonlight shines in front of the bed. Zhuge raised his pen and wrote a poem. This poem contains endless sword meaning. The three saints who bore the brunt were directly chopped into blood mist. My teacher is compassionate, and the young monk is here to save everyone. Qing Chen stepped forward, smiled slightly, and swept with the broom. In an instant, terrifying winds tens of thousands of miles away swept across, mixed with terrifying aura, like a tornado, directly covering tens of thousands of people. More than a dozen of the saints, and even the Saint King, were immediately swept up and let out shrill screams. Hua Long Xuan. The dragon soul burst out from Long Xuan's body, and he punched down, directly covering the three holy kings. When these three saints saw this, they were extremely angry. A mere saint dares to attack the Holy Lord. They were disdainful, but the next moment, all three of them fell into great panic. The three of them worked together, but they couldn't block the punch. The three holy kings exploded into blood mist. The world is changing, the two chi of black and yellow are for my use. Tianqi Lin Zhuhan, at this moment, calmly used his magic power, and the endless energy of the earth swept from the southern land, like a blue dragon. He guided this invincible power of the earth and suddenly slashed at a holy king. How can it be? The eyes of this holy king were filled with disbelief, and he tried his best. However, even though he has advanced cultivation, he still cannot resist. He vomited countless blood in an instant and died on the spot. The little Kylin stood on Lu Rang's shoulder, making milky squeaks from time to time, waving its hooves, and driving away countless ominous things. Tisk, look at you, you are not environmentally friendly at all. Lu Rang shook his head. Behind him, there was a grass covering the sky, which seemed to be able to cut down the sun, moon, and stars. Countless blades of grass chopped into the imperial army. The saint was stabbed into a long string by the green blades of grass, and then, the endless blood was absorbed. Got it? Dozens of saints, holy kings, etc., turned into mummies and fell down. That grass, green light shrouded the heads of countless imperial clansmen, which was extremely frightening. Ding! At the same time, in the noisy battlefield, a clear sound suddenly sounded. The sound of the piano traveled through the entire battlefield, and countless notes flew out. In an instant, the notes seemed to have turned into an ocean, with a murderous aura, as if thousands of troops were attacking, as if an army of gods and demons were roaring. With so much murderous intent, countless terrifying creatures are displayed in this song, including Qianqi, Bifang, and others, killing creatures and devouring all the strong ones in the field. On Nanfan's shoulder, there was a small white wolf. At this moment, she felt that her running blood was completely burning with Nanfan's song. She let out a clear wolf howl. In an instant, her wolf howl actually harmonized with the music of the south wind, and among the countless notes, countless wolves appeared. Qian jumped into the ocean of musical notes and started the massacre. Even saints and sage kings died instantly the moment they touched such a terrifying note. The seven of them took action, and in an instant, the densely packed Imperial Coalition army was killed and a piece of it was left empty. In the blink of an eye, millions of powerful foreigners have died in their hands. Among them are hundreds of saints and dozens of saints. There are only 7 people, but their lethality is almost greater than that of the entire human coalition. At this moment, many powerful men from the Imperial clan noticed them. These 7 people are weird, kill them. Kill. Destroy these 7 people first. In the blink of an eye, tens of millions of troops swept in. Among them, there is even a Saint King level figure leading the way. Zhuge and others felt extremely happy at this moment, and they rushed towards these millions of troops. However, before they came into contact with this tens of millions of troops, countless Othello lines instantly enveloped the entire sky. Tens of millions of troops are all penetrated by this chess line. Bang bang bang. It's like a huge fireworks, covering half of the sky, blooming at the same time, turning into a sea of blood. The army of tens of millions was completely destroyed. There are only a few holy kings left. Although they are not dead, their bodies are stained with the blood of their own people, and their old eyes are filled with fear. What a weird chess line is this? Oh no, junior brother Zhang Li, you don't follow martial ethics. Wu Dade cursed instantly. Zhang Li shouldn't have come. Zhuge Yuqing was speechless, as he had not finished writing Jing Yesi in Yishao. Qing Chen also gritted his teeth and said, I agree, we should not be the first to use weapons of mass destruction. While they were complaining, they rushed into the chessboard and besieged the holy kings. They acted like saints and fought against the holy king. At this moment, under the peaceful sky behind him, Zhang Li looked innocent. He glanced at the sky and saw the beautiful purple shadow flashing past from time to time. His expression was complicated and he said, Don't blame me. If you don't take action now, when senior sister Xiling finishes painting, no one will be killed. After saying that, he gritted his teeth, and endless black and white chess lines were overwhelming. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 389. The war has reached a fever pitch. In this battle, there were no less than 300 clans in the Imperial Clan Alliance, including royal clans and above. Including the servants of the nobles, saints, etc., the number is no less than 10 billion. The battlefield was overwhelming, almost covering the entire northern immortal territory. The human army is too small in front of the tens of billions of Imperial coalition forces. Almost irresistible. Xuanhuan and others were already vomiting blood and could hardly resist. Puff. Xuanhuan fought against the two quasi-emperors, vomiting blood and almost dying. Senior, please use it. At this time, Subakian flashed past him and handed him a pill. Xuanhuan swallowed it suddenly. His power quickly revived, and in an instant, his aura was even stronger. Fight again! He roared. Subakian, on the other hand, left quickly. She wanders around the battlefield, and almost always appears whenever a strong human being is about to die. With my great ambition, I can fight against life and death, all living beings will not die, and all diseases in the world can be cured. She stood under the sky, and suddenly, a pot of prepared medicine was poured down in an instant. Behind her, an endless sea of medicine seemed to appear, and the terrifying power of the medicine fell down, covering tens of thousands of people. In an instant, this group of humans, who were almost at the end of their lives, seemed to be rejuvenated and energetic again. Kill her. This woman's ability is so weird that she can reverse life and death. The medicine in her hand is even more incredible. A strong man roars. They attack Subakian. However, in the sky, if there is no place, Xiling just makes a stroke. Subakian disappeared directly from the place. Xiling is painting, looking at the whole situation. As a painter, her powers of observation and overall control are extraordinary, and every detail in the scene cannot escape her eyes. Whenever the situation was critical, she would send Subakian there directly, and whenever Subakian was in danger, she could help him escape instantly. With the help of Subakian, the endangered human alliance actually showed extremely strong tenacity, killing without stopping, and defeating without destroying. We have big reinforcements, don't be afraid, kill. Ji Tinpan, the holy master of the Ji family, shouted. At this moment, all races felt an unprecedented courage. Subakian's existence made them not afraid of injury and death. Moreover, on the other side, Zhuge Yuqing and others were killing so fiercely that they were like a group of killing machines. Especially, whenever that terrifying Othello line fills the air, the deaths of the Imperial Alliance army are counted in millions. Only the Holy King can survive in that black and white chess line. Existences at the level of saints simply cannot resist Zhongli and others. Invincible at the same level. In fact, even the weaker Saint Lord can be killed instantly. In fact, the opportunities, holy medicines, holy springs, etc. they get every day in the small courtyard, if placed in the outside world, would be enough to make an ordinary person reach an extremely terrifying height. However, up to now, Zhongli, the strongest among them, is only at the level of the Saint King. As you can imagine, the foundation is very solid. Kill. In the battle group, dozens of holy kings saw something was wrong and immediately killed them. The 7 holy kings are killing Duguyuking. Duguyuking let out a long roar, and his Huangtian brush kept waving, like a silver hook iron painting. Qingming Festival, it's raining. Pedestrian, I want to die. Where can I find a restaurant? Point 2, Xinghua Village. Duguyuking let out a long roar, and under the pressure of the 7 holy kings, his sword intent solidified and turned into an endless drizzle. At this moment, he broke free from the shackles. Enter the realm of the Holy King. With one slash of the sword, the 7 holy kings were actually forced to retreat dozens of steps. War. Duguyuking took the initiative to charge and kill. He wanted to stabilize his realm during the battle. The other side. Shuzi. The 4 holy kings besieged Qingchen and attacked all over the sky. But Qingchen closed his eyes. Compassion can transform all things in the world. He lifted the broom, and in an instant, all attacks disappeared. Enter the realm of the Holy King. 10 of you, are not enough. Long Xuanhuan's roar came. His fighting power was overwhelming, the light of his fist shattered the void. Wherever he went, he could almost shake the Holy King. Kill this kid, don't hold back. The 10 holy kings take action. The hidden dragon is in the abyss. Long Xuanhuan shouted loudly, and a terrifying golden light erupted from his body. In his sea of consciousness, there is a dragon soul flying for 9 days, giving him endless power. One person can defeat the 10 holy kings. Monster! Kill this monster! At the same time, 5 holy kings were besieging Lin Zhujian. Lin Zhujian was using the power of the earth below for his own use, but he didn't retreat at all. There is actually a demon species hidden in the northern immortal realm, you should kill it. At the same time, several holy kings were killing Xuanhuan. However, around Xuanhuan, the golden verses and characters were extremely sacred. She was like a child swimming in the sea of consciousness. Every line of poetry was a kind of avenue. In the end, countless poems gathered together and transformed into one word. Number. If you count the famous figures, let's look at today. Xuanhuan's clear voice sounded, and at this moment, she also entered the realm of the Saint King. Even Gongya was a match for the 2 holy kings. She tried her best and did not use the teacup she brought out from the small courtyard. Eventually, she also entered the realm of the Saint King. Nanfan is even more terrifying. Her sound-killing field directly covers the 12 holy kings. Thousands of troops and horses are roaring, and the breath of endless killing is rolling wildly. You alone want to kill us? Don't even think about it. They roared, and each one of them was furious to the extreme, almost tearing Nanfan's sound-killing field apart. However, at this moment, the south wind suddenly turned its strings. The killing aura disappeared instantly. It turned into a soft tune. This melody is extremely gentle, like the flow of a stream or the gentle breeze of the mountain. But only for a moment. The 12 holy kings suddenly vomited blood. This is a kind of feminine killing technique. Nanfan finally completed her transformation from fierce to strong and soft. Enter the realm of the Holy King. The most angry ones were the other 5 holy kings, who were fighting Wu Dade and shouting at the same time. You beast, how dare you humiliate us like this? These holy kings were so angry that Wu Dade dared to point his butt at them. "I'll slap your ass." A holy king shouted angrily, his palm power overwhelming. "Beast, if I don't blow your ass to pieces, I won't be called the holy king in vain." The others roared even more. "Do your best." Endless attacks hit Wu Dade's butt. At this moment, Wu Dade suddenly made a sound of ecstasy. "Ah, that's what it feels like." His eyes shine and his whole body shines. The body is reorganizing and entering a new realm. "Eat my butt." He sat down towards a holy king. This holy king was furious and went all out. But the next moment, he was sent flying, backwards for hundreds of miles, and he was vomiting blood. At this moment, deep in the sky, Zi Ling's painting is finally completed. It was a painting of war. Countless strong men were attacking, showing different powers. If you look carefully, you can see that there are thousands of troops in it, and the look of each person is lifelike. An extremely large number of battle groups were drawn on a piece of rice paper, with only a corner visible, and every detail was visible. One stroke fell. In an instant. In the endless Imperial Clan coalition forces below, it was as if a vast white snowfield had suddenly been doused with a pot of scalding hot water. The densely packed Imperial coalition forces were completely empty. Countless strong men suddenly disappeared. 1 million. 5 million. 10 million. 80 million. A full 100 million troops disappeared in an instant. And the dozens of holy kings who had just fought fiercely with Duguyuking and others were struggling even more now. No. What kind of power is this? Help. Weird. A group of holy kings shouted, but their figures were still fading. Soon, it completely disappeared from where it was. Seeing this scene, countless people in the Imperial Clan Alliance were shocked and dumbfounded. What happened? What happened? Hundreds of saints just disappeared like this? How could it be? There are great weirdness and great terrors, even dozens of holy kings can't stand it. Even though the Imperial Clan's coalition forces numbered tens of billions, everyone was shocked when they saw this scene. What a concept! No matter how terrifying the Othello line is, it will take time to spread. It can only devour the Imperial Alliance army by the millions. However, now there are 100 million coalition troops, and dozens of holy kings have disappeared. I can't even think about what happened. The Imperial Alliance, which was originally extremely confident, suddenly panicked at this moment. Opposite them, Duguyuqiang, Wu Dade and others who were coming to fight were also panicked. Senior Sister Xiling, you don't play like this. It's too much. If this continues, the Imperial Alliance will be finished in a few moments. More terrifying than Senior Brother Zhongli. They were all anxious. Hurry and kill the Imperial Clan Alliance army. Let me just say, once Senior Sister Xiling takes action, the team battle, there is no need to fight, there really is no need to fight. This time Senior Sister Xiling breaks through to the realm of the Holy Lord, I'm afraid she won't be able to play anymore. At the rear, even Zhongli's mentality was a bit broken, and he wanted to throw away the chess piece. What do I need this chessboard for? Now. Even in the rear of the Imperial Alliance, on the huge spaceship that had not been touched so far, the eyes of the 9 emperors could not help but be attracted to the battlefield. Huh? These Ant-humans have actually resisted until now? It's surprising. An emperor spoke in confusion. Something's wrong, there's something wrong with those people. A white-haired old man pointed directly in the direction of Duguyuking. Why are there so many fewer Imperial Clan coalition forces all of a sudden? Those young people are very extraordinary. They seem to be the most powerful genius among the human race. In front of them, those of the same level are like chickens and dogs. A group of emperors are a little dignified. Xuanhuan also looked over. When she saw this group of young men and women, she suddenly felt heart palpitations. Is her. At this moment, an emperor suddenly pointed to the depths of the sky. They are emperors, so they can naturally see that deep in the sky, a girl in purple is painting. She is painting this battlefield. And the 100 million army that just disappeared, appeared in her paintings. While the 9 emperors were watching, deep in the sky, Xiling suddenly threw the painting. In an instant, the 100 million army that had just disappeared reappeared. However, they roared directly and killed the Imperial Alliance army. They have become Ziling's painting slaves. Ziling can control them with just a thought. At this moment, the situation on the battlefield was further reversed. Countless Imperial clan coalition forces were shocked when they saw this scene. What's going on? The disappearing army has actually become our enemy. Weird, so weird. Their lives have been alienated, their lives have been alienated. Countless saints, saint kings, etc. all looked horrified. This method is almost completely beyond their cognition. Even the 9 emperors on the giant ship changed their expressions at this moment and took a breath of cold air. No, with these people here, even if the Imperial Alliance has tens of billions, they can't help but kill, they can't help her painting. The white-haired emperor spoke solemnly. All the great saints and quasi-emperors, surround and kill them. Xuanhuan even spoke directly. She had to keep an eye on Zhang Shui, her formidable enemy, so she didn't want to waste time on other people. In an instant, all the great sages and quasi-emperors in the imperial clan's coalition forces moved. Prior to this, the great sage and the quasi-emperor had hardly targeted Tuguyuking and others. Because Tuguyuking and others are just saints. Not worth their while. But now, these young men and women have completely attracted attention. God's envoy, do we want to take action? The giant ship, an emperor, looked into the cabin. But in the cabin, the blue-robed Taoist's eyes were full of blazing heat. He stared hard at Nanfan, Tuguyuking, and others. A group of little yin spirits with incredible qualifications. They must be related to the big yin spirit. Definitely is. He murmured, waved his hand and said, I can't give the order, and you are not allowed to take action. Slowly push that big yin spirit out. His face is full of greed and expectation. And at this moment, following Zhang Hanshuang's order, almost all the top combat forces among the imperial clan's coalition forces surrounded Tuguyuking and others. There are a total of 7 quasi-emperors and 41 great sages. The number of people is almost 5 times that of Nanfan and others. And at this moment, a battlefield on the edge of somewhere. Ao Wu's legs and lips were dry, and he subconsciously glanced left and right. Well, now finally no one cares about themselves. He turned and ran. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 390. 7 quasi-emperors and 41 great sages. At this moment, they were attacking Nanfan and others. These monsters are dead. The quasi-emperor takes action. No matter how defiant they are, they will not be able to resist. These human ants must die, otherwise any one of them who grows up will be at least a ruthless person of Zhang Shui's level. Countless people in the Imperial Alliance army breathed a sigh of relief at this moment. The 7 quasi-emperors, plus so many great saints, are known as invincible when the Holy Emperor is not around. Good guy, how do you divide it? Wu Dade's eyes actually lit up at this moment. Quasi-emperor, I want it. Tuguyuking, however, directly killed one of the quasi-emperors. It will be a pleasure to attack the quasi-emperor against you. Long Xuanhuan also shouted loudly. Don't grab it. This quasi-emperor has been saved by me. Qing Chen also hurried forward. For a time, almost everyone was scrambling. Their foundation is so deep that even a saint king who is one level above them may not be able to inspire them. The great sage is the best whetstone. At this moment, the human and imperial coalition forces are paying attention to the battle here. Because the outcome of the battle here will determine the entire battlefield. Seeing the performance of these young people, everyone had complicated expressions. Damn it, are you treating the quasi-emperor as a piece of cake? Go crazy. You actually dare to take the initiative to fight against the quasi-emperor. Is this still the Holy King? Do I have any misunderstandings about the Holy King? Everyone thought it was incredible. The quasi-emperor is the most powerful among the great saints. Second only to the Holy Emperor, and 2 levels higher than the Holy King. Among Li Fan's group of disciples, only Lin Zhichuan, Ziling, and Subakian did not move. Lin Zhichuan is a celestial master. Although fighting has a certain effect, it does not improve him much. Ziling, on the other hand, is still obsessed with painting. The enemy she faced wasn't just a quasi-emperor. This time, she's painting the big picture. Even the holy kings, great sages, etc. are all under his pen. You alone would dare to take action against the quasi-emperor. Geniuses are meant to be killed. The 7 holy emperors are all moving at this moment. Dugu Yuking, Qing Chen, Long Zixuan, Wu Dade, Lu Rang, Nanfan, and Xining. 7 people, fighting against 7 quasi-emperors. Zhang Li's Othello line has enveloped all the great sages. Boom. A quasi-emperor took a picture, tens of thousands of terrifying waves, almost splitting the sky. Dugu Yuking stepped back a few hundred steps to avoid the main impact, but even though it was just the aftermath, it still made him close to full strength, which was still difficult. The chasm is hard to cross. Very good, only with strong winds and heavy rain can you experience the strongest sword heart. However, the next moment he charged head-on. This is true for all 7 of them. Let them use the power of the Holy King to fight against the quasi-emperor, which is a real life and death struggle. If you are not careful, you will die. Die. A quasi-emperor tore apart Nanfan's ocean of notes, almost causing her strings to break. In the blink of an eye, she had already rushed in front of Nanfan. However, at this moment, Nanfan and Xiaolang disappeared from where they were. Thank you, junior sister. Nanfeng appeared in another place, raised his eyes and spoke to Ziling who was painting on Tianyu. At the critical moment, it was Ziling who waved her paintbrush and changed the space she was in. My music still has many flaws in front of a quasi-emperor level expert. After the dangerous encounter just now, Nanfan gained a lot. She continued to take action, and at this moment, her cultivation level was rapidly improving. This is just a microcosm. Facing quasi-emperor level experts, even though they are extremely talented, they are still difficult to resist. Like an eagle fighting against the storm. However, the presence of Ziling in the sky gave them the opportunity to try again and again. Oh no! In the blink of an eye, I almost killed your father 10 times. Wu Dade went crazy. He faced a quasi-emperor for just a moment and was almost destroyed 10 times. However, after these 10 times, his cultivation has expanded more and more, almost reaching a new threshold. Holy King! Sister, have mercy. Qing Chen also clasped his hands together. If it weren't for Ziling, he would have been killed 5 times. Dugu Yuking encountered 4 dead ends. Long Zixuan's fists were almost cracked. He was too stubborn and actually wanted to confront the quasi-emperor, but Ziling forcibly removed him 3 times. Sister, save me again. Lu Rang shouted again. He hugged his grass and hurriedly moved away from where he was. This is already the 7th time. The only person Ziling doesn't have to worry about is Zhang Li. With his cultivation as a saint king, he trapped more than 40 great saints. At this moment, the great saints and him were in a deadlock. Every great sage is arduously moving towards the chess game, trying to kill him. However, Zhang Li's chess game was like a large swamp, making their movements extremely slow. Zhang Li's forehead was covered in sweat. This scene shocked everyone. Are these still a group of holy monarchs? The quasi-emperor actually takes action continuously. Monsters, so monstrous, I feel like they are actually getting stronger. They use the quasi-emperor as a whetstone. Everyone was stunned. In fact, this scene was even more surprising than the emperor-level battle that took place in the Void Sea. 101 times, I finally realized it. Suddenly, the endless sword intent on Duguyuking suddenly disappeared in an instant. It rains heavily during the Qingming festival. Pedestrian soul is broken. Where is the restaurant? Point from afar, Xinghua. In the battle, he eliminated the bad and retained the good, and finally found the deeper true meaning of swordsmanship. At this moment, thousands of sword shadows behind him suddenly turned into one. Then, a sword slashed out. Saint King Realm, kill me. In the realm of killing myself, I want to kill the self that has been released from the shackles. Only those illusory, past, fettered, and flashy selves can be eliminated. Only then can we reach a deeper state. In an instant, the face of the quasi-emperor who was fighting against him changed drastically. Because, Duguyuking's sword was obviously just a sword that broke through the holy king. But it gave him the illusion that he was facing a powerful sage. Dare you? He roared angrily and suppressed it with all his strength. Boom! Big collision. In the end, Duguyuking retreated 500 steps. The quasi-emperor took 3 steps back. Both sides were uninjured. And, if I don't kill you, you will become a dragon. This quasi-emperor is crazy. A higher level war broke out between the two sides. On the other side, others have begun the process. Wu Dade was almost killed for the 271st time. At this moment, there was actually a Taoist brand flowing on his butt. Ass as big as the sun. Under your buttocks, suppress all enemies in the world. He sat down towards the quasi-emperor. Bang! The quasi-emperor seemed to be bombarding a mountain. In an instant, both sides retreated. Wu Dade, on the other hand, slapped his butt and said with enthusiasm, "Brother, come and chop me. Come and chop me." Quasi-emperor. When Nanfan faced the 60-second desperate situation of life and death, the sound-killing field boiled. Hard and soft in one. Enter the realm of the Holy King. Senior sister, you have saved me more than 300 times, I will do this myself. Lu Rang shouted, the other grasses merged into one, controlled one grass, and transformed into endless killing intent, killing himself and even the quasi-emperor. Fight, fight, fight. Long Xuanhuan launched his 172nd charge. At this moment, his countless dragon souls were destroyed by himself, and the dragon power became more pure. And Xuanning, like a child, once again sang that eternally unique verse. Numerous romances. Beside her, 3 golden characters suppress everything. Holy King. 99 times of life and death, teach people directly that entering samadhi is like death. Qing Chen took a step forward, the monk's robes fluttered, suddenly rose into the air, and then a palm print came down. I am coming as soon as I come. He has also entered the realm of the Holy King. On the other side, Zhang Li's face was covered in sweat. Born from heaven, born from earth, born from man, begotten from saint. At this moment, he evolved from the 3 lives chess formation to the 4 lives chess formation. In an instant, a child fell. More than 40 great sages all had extremely frightened faces at this moment. They feel that their lives no longer belong to them. No. They screamed miserably. However, fate cannot be reversed. They have become pawns. Then, they all exploded. More than 40 great saints were all destroyed. At this moment, the entire battlefield, the tens of billions of coalition forces, including the Emperor on the giant ship, were all shocked. Like deathly silence. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 391. At this moment, almost everyone was looking at the battlefield ahead, their eyes a little dull. Is this true? A group of holy kings actually use the quasi-emperor as a whetstone. A chess master at the level of a holy king can actually kill a group of great saints. Is this the horror of chess? Monsters, they have entered the realm of the holy king, and they are all monsters. At this moment, countless people in the Imperial Alliance were frightened and trembling. Even the quasi-emperor did not kill these people. Moreover, at this moment, all of them have actually broken through to the realm of the Holy King. The more we fight, the stronger we get. Unthinkable. Senior Li's disciples, one person, can overwhelm a whole clan. Huolinger and others looked extremely complicated. This is the invincibility of the Lord of Desolate Heaven. Xuanhuan was extremely excited and said, sit down for years and cultivate an invincible species in the world that can suppress all chaos. And at this moment, the 7 quasi-emperors are all getting angrier. These saint-level ants actually became saint kings through their hands. This is simply an insult to them. The key is that these ants who have become holy kings now have a tendency to compete with them head-on. In the rear, on top of the giant ship. What a powerful painting method, what a powerful chess method, what a powerful grass method. This side of the underworld actually hides some ancient magic that has been lost in the world of the earth. The blue-robed Taoist looked at Zhang Li and the others, his eyes becoming increasingly hot. You must know that the underworld is just a reflection of the Yang world. There is a consensus in the Yang world that after certain supreme Taoist courts or unparalleled creation places are destroyed, the underworld will evolve due to the interweaving of many causes and effects. The underworld is often the reappearance of the past in the underworld, the souls of the dead reenacting themselves in a broken and illusory world. And in some strange underworlds, inheritances that have been extinct in the underworld may appear. At this moment, these little yin spirits are actually so extraordinary. Everyone has a road. This is simply a treasure in the underworld. Get him. There was so much greed in his eyes. Hearing this, Xuanhuan immediately stepped forward, pointed at the girl in purple who was painting on the sky, and said, She is the key, the soul of this war. Get her first. As emperors, they have sharper observation skills. That purple-clothed girl's manipulation of space is truly terrifying. Even the quasi-emperor may not be able to match her understanding of the laws of space. In fact, if it weren't for the girl in purple who came to help, the rest of the people would have died hundreds of times. Upon hearing this, the 7 quasi-emperors all shouted loudly. They directly abandoned the opponent in front of them, and 7 of them rushed to Ziling's position at the same time. The 7 people completely sealed the space where Ziling was. Ziling cannot retreat. At this moment, her beautiful face was a little red and sweat was dripping, but her eyes were so determined. Her painting is finished. She brushed the tip of her pen across the painting. In an instant, 7 phantoms suddenly appeared beside her. Those 7 phantoms are almost identical to the 7 quasi-emperors that are charging towards them. They protected Ziling and took action against the 7 quasi-emperors. Exactly the same method. These 7 quasi-emperors seemed to have stepped out of the mirror. Boom! The terrifying aura exploded, and Fang Tianyu directly turned into countless black holes. Ziling disappeared from the spot, and the next moment, she had appeared next to Nanfan and others. Senior Sister Ziling is becoming more and more terrifying. She doesn't need to draw those strong people into the paintings, but she can use the paintings to reproduce the abilities of those strong people. Dugu Yuking's eyes were full of surprise. It's outrageous, I also want to learn to draw. Wu Dade shouted. Zhongli looked complicated and said. Senior Sister Xiling, you have entered the realm of the Holy King, this game is completely useless. In the sky, 7 phantoms and 7 real quasi-emperors were actually fighting. The 7 quasi-emperors were all shocked. Those 7 phantoms are just like themselves. It is almost impossible to decide the outcome in a short period of time. Everyone in the audience was even more shocked when they saw this scene. What a picture, it's earth-shattering. Under the siege of 7 quasi-emperors, he actually took a step to become a holy king, and weird and unpredictable. Everyone's expressions were extremely complicated. Please ask the emperor to take action and suppress them. At this time, an old holy king prayed towards the giant ship in the rear in fear. Ask the emperor to take action. Ask the emperor to take action. Countless people shouted. Now, looking at the tens of billions of troops, no one can resist Xiling and others. After breaking through to the realm of the Holy King, they will only become more terrifying. Especially the girl in purple. They were able to make an army of 100 million disappear directly before, but now they can even draw the shadow of a quasi-emperor. The Imperial Alliance has completely lost confidence. The 9 gods favored ones on the giant ship are their only hope. On the giant ship, the blue-robed Taoist also said coldly, "You go. Get them." His eyes are full of passion. Hearing this, at this moment, the 9 emperors on the giant ship walked out together. Like 9 peerless divine masters, with every step they take, there is imperial energy flowing across thousands of miles, making people worship them. Xuanhuan stared at Nanfan and others, especially on Wu Dade. She said word by word coldly. "I can feel it, I have a big grudge against you. You are dead." She took one step forward. At this moment, the stars and moon dimmed, and the sky was torn apart. The long river of time and the ocean of cause and effect are all retreating from it. The real emperor is taking action, he is invincible. Evolve the 9-star emperor formation to trap this space, especially the purple-clothed girl. Xuanhuan took action and drank coldly. She would not let the tragedy of the 7 quasi-emperors happen again. In a head-on confrontation, these ants are vulnerable. However, once the painting of the purple girl takes shape, there will be many variables. The 9 emperors instantly imprisoned all space and time in Fang Tianyu from 9 directions. At this moment, even Xiling has lost the space to operate. At present, the most she can do is copy the shadow of the quasi-emperor, but she cannot really draw the quasi-emperor into the painting. She cannot even begin to paint when facing the Holy Emperor. Xuanhuan had already slapped Wu Dade with his palm. All brothers and sisters take action together. Wu Dade couldn't avoid it, so he gritted his teeth and raised his butt. Snapped. But the next moment, Xiling Nanfan and others made a move, but they were all blown away by Xuanhuan. She slapped Wu Dade on the butt with a crisp slap. Ah! Wu Dade cried miserably. He was shot away and his butt was torn and bloody. "Brother!" Subakian hurriedly stepped forward and sprinkled the elixir on Wu Dade's butt. In an instant, the laws of the Holy Way were repairing his butt. "You damn woman, how dare you slap my ass to a pulp, I will slap your ass to a pulp too." He spoke harshly. However, the 9 emperors are approaching. With just one blow, Nanfan and others had fully felt the terror of the Holy Emperor. Even though their strength is enough to fight the quasi-emperor, facing the Holy Emperor. Too weak. Gong Ya. Xianning suddenly spoke. At this moment, Gong Ya stepped forward, took a deep breath, and suddenly took out a teacup in her hand. Inject spiritual power into it. In an instant, the teacup suddenly transformed into a shadow that covered the sky and the sun. Covering the entire sky. Even the 9 emperors are enveloped. The shadow is suppressed. Dare you? The expressions of the 9 emperors all changed. This teacup actually made them feel an extreme form of terror. 9 people worked together to resist. Gongya tried her best, but she felt that she could only activate a small part of the teacup's power. The 9 emperors cannot be completely suppressed. However, the 9 emperors had to devote almost half of their strength to fight against this teacup. 9-star killing formation, kill them quickly. Xuanhuan shouted. This teacup is too terrifying. It is only held by one person now. If these people work together, what kind of terrifying power will it unleash? She couldn't even imagine it. In an instant, 9 terrifying killing auras swept through Xiang Nanfan and the others. It's all a matter of life and death. Even though they were half distracted to resist the teacup, the cultivation they displayed at this moment was still invincible. Moreover, they are 9-star killing formations, which are more powerful. What to do? Gongya is a little anxious. A group of disciples also had their thoughts suddenly changed. Damn it, fight them. At this time, Wu Dade gritted his teeth and spoke. He stepped forward, fearless. Then he did radio gymnastics.